Hey beauties, wonderful people, a pleasant afternoon to you. Beautiful people. So, I'm sure that this has gone viral now, where, I don't know, I don't know if both of them call themselves prophets, or one is a prophet, calls himself a prophet, the other calls himself an apostle, I don't know. Two so-called, men of the cloth, and you had, like, I think it's the two of them were sitting down, well, the supposed fiance or girlfriend of one of them, the younger of the two, men of God, was sitting beside the man, and the prophet, because I heard when the congregation was saying, when he called him by his first and last name, his Christian and surname, they said, say prophet whatever, Ro, not whatever his name is, Ro. And they kept repeating that. I heard that over and over and over. And, the older man, which is the accused, let us put it that way. Let us say you have the accuser and the accused, because I'm not even sure how to categorize this entire saga, was saying, why is it that you're going around spreading my name and accusing me of what? Doing obia, witchcraft, and doing all kinds of things that we would consider immoral, and maybe, well, I'm not sure. I think I read something about obia being, is it legal on the books or it's still illegal? I don't remember. I remember some time ago reading on it, and I was, I'd have to go back to it. But let us use the word immoral for now. All right, wonderful people. And a lady came on, a fair-skinned woman came on, and she was saying, this is a video of his. And the older prophet, begun playing it and, put the speaker section to the microphone. But the way how the other so-called man of God was speaking on the video done, it was very much unbecoming of what we knew or what we know of people who say that they're men and women of the cloth. That there is a certain decorum that you speak with when you're speaking publicly. Remember, there's a saying that says, to whom much is given, much is required. Some may say, who much is given, much is expected. Whichever way, it means the same thing. It comes back to the same decimal. And I was kind of shocked, to say the least. The language almost sounded foul. It sounded very, illicit and so on, even. And, but when I saw, and the other man, it was not a friendly banter between the two of them. But the older of the two, he spoke with a so-called calm voice, like he deliberately, you can hear the intention in him speaking calmly. He was even telling his congregation to just keep it down and so on. But boy, may I tell you, when the man stood up, boy, may I tell me, I wonder where them get them, the bodyguard there from. Like me just see them come, and it's like his mother look around and say, what is me, the Father God? And he had to sit back down. He had to sit back down. The reason why I'm not going to too much comment on that. It reminded me of the story with Jesus and his disciples when they came for him. And Peter, when they came to arrest Jesus, Peter chopped off the man's ear with his Micairos, they call it, that dagger. And so on. So, I guess there is some sort of, I can understand them having bodyguards, because we live in a real world. People fear nothing at all, so the man had to kind of sit back down, because he didn't know what he was going, the bodyguards don't know why did he stand up, and I guess men know men, that when you see them stand up, it's like them ready for war, so to speak, generally. But I guess he obviously knew that he could not outfight if a fight was to ensue these strong, able-bodied men. So he sat back down, and then the older pastor or prophet or whatever he is, or whomever he is rather, stated that, we're going to deal with things peacefully. Just you go your way, I go mine, and, basically let us part in peace. He said, lady, I can't tell you who to marry. You made your choice. Let's go. So he walked out. Then you saw another clipping of him coming back to apologize, and he said, let us make bygones be bygones and be at peace with each other. And I don't know if he said that let us just be cool, and he said, we will never be cool. I will get you at another time. This is the older man saying that. Just go. I allowed you to come back and apologize. Just go. Now I'm saying all of that to say I'm not going to really make a judgment call on either of the two. I don't really like to do that because I'm reminded of the story with Saul and David. Now Saul was a king for about 40 years. 38 of it God didn't walk with him. The Spirit of God left him because he disobeyed God. He was more people, how would I call it, consumed. So whatever the people said, it went above what God wanted. And he realized that he was like that. Remember when God said, get rid of everybody, everything and everybody. And he kept that king Agag or something like that. And his descent was Haman. Remember Haman wanted to hang Mordecai or chop off Mordecai's head or whatever it was. Yes. And you know, when Samuel said, but I hear something, some sheep bleating. I hear this, I hear what is going on. But he saved the best to offer up a sacrifice to God. Like he took God for an idiot. Licky and yummy. Saul was. You understand? When him see the things them him skin catch a fire, him couldn't destroy it. Him could have been paid off to do things. You know, God knew his heart. So people just took it on the surface to say it's just disobey. It was more than that. He knew that he was licky and beggy. You know, and that him love things, him love likes, and that he would put all of those things above God. So God could not trust him with the kingship position. So God knew that he would have gotten rid of him and put in David, who would never have done that. As flawed as David was, he still would, in general, by and large, put God above everyone and everything. And when he pursued David for years to kill him because he got jealous of him, there were two times, twice, David could have gotten rid of him. And David did not. David said, I cannot touch what God has anointed. So even though God's Spirit never was, he still had anointed him. He still had allowed him. It was in his permissive will. It wasn't in his perfect will. It was when the people were pressuring Samuel for a leader. So I'm saying that people, even if they're fake, even if they're false, even if they're not true, is when they're preaching the message of God, and even if something is, you have to be careful how you come at them. I said God will deal with them when they're fake, and God will deal with them when they're false. You have to be careful of some of what you're saying. Sometimes it's not necessarily a matter of fake or false. It may look that way. It's a matter that they're carnal, because Paul talked about carnal Christians. You know, their surface, the spirit, they did not delve deep into the spirit and the truths of God. Their soul man has not been transformed, really. You know, because had it been that way, both parties would not speak the way they had spoken, and operated the way they operated. Even though, you know, I said, oh, let it just be peace, you go your way. In other words, when the man says, all right, let us make bygones be, and he didn't say, let us be friends. Well, it would almost tantamount to him saying, let us be good associates. And he said, I will never basically deal with you again, and I will get you at another time or whatever. That's the older one saying that to the younger one. I don't know if they're the same age, but the slimmer one looks younger to me in a sense, and so on. But even the language of the other one, when he mentioned about the thing about the clitoris and the small, I mean, I said to myself, no, this is getting out of hand. It's a flagrant disregard for the church. It puts it in disrepute. And even though nobody's a perfect human being, at the same time, it's like a business place. It's like Scotia Bank. Scotia Bank is not a Christian-oriented organization, but there are certain things you will not hear the CEO or the management say and or do in public. Public displays are very much important. The Bible speaks about that. It's not a matter of say, okay, publicly can do and go abroad and hide. For example, you know what I mean? Some people say your private and your public life, they should be one in the same. That speaks to your integrity. I understand where they're coming from, but obviously not. If you're married to your wife, for example, and you're making love to your wife, you're not going to come out in the public and make love to your wife. You follow what I mean? If you're scolding your child with a belt, you're not going to come out in public and do that. There's some things, you know what I mean? It has to be within the confines of your personal space. You know, so both parties are wrong. I'm not going to get up and say who fake and false. Everybody fake and false for everybody, and everybody bad mind for everybody nowadays. If they are, God will deal with them. I'm not here to say this, because someone who is saying real, faker than them there. Guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe and give